Welcome to the Change Life Destiny podcast, where healthcare is being reimagined one conversation at a time. We spotlight the people, innovations, and ideas moving us from sick care to self-care and from reactivity to true prevention. A place to connect, learn, and build a new future together. Get inspired at changelifedestiny.com. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Change Life Destiny podcast series. I am Stephanie, your host, and today we are with Kiki Cordero-Drake, who is joining us from the clinic to talk about EQ Flux Wave. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kiki.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm just going to say flat out, first thing, if you ever have the opportunity to be as lucky as I was and sit in front of Kiki and let her work on your shoulders, I'm just saying magic happens. So just know that if you're ever able to do that, you should. We're so excited to talk about your journey, your technology, everything with you today. But I really want to start by finding out more about your particular journey. I've talked to your husband before. He has a fantastic story. And so I really want to know what it is that brought you to where you are in this space, in this health space today.
Yes, I was a child athlete and I started suffering from injuries at a very young age. Basically I started playing soccer when I was 5 years old. And by the time I was 10, I had first dislocated my shoulder. By the time I was 14, I dislocated it 5 times. And which sounds silly when you're like that young, but that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional soccer player. Like I was set on doing that. But then by the time I was 14, I had to change the position that I was in because now I couldn't be a goalkeeper anymore. I had to switch to a striker if I wanted to, and I quote, keep my arm is what my doctor told me.
Keep your arm?
Yeah, literally. He was like, hey, if you want to look like an orangutan with one arm down below, that's fine. Otherwise, you have to make some changes. And I started off as a dancer when I was 2, as little as 2, and then a soccer player at 5. Soccer was my passion. I love them both, but I had to choose. So by the time I was 14, chose to be a striker, went to play in a game. Literally, our goalkeeper in our championship game decides to no-show us because she decides to go to Woodstock when it returned back in the 90s. And she no-showed us. And so here I am, lead striker on the team, and now I have to go back and goal. And we did, unfortunately, we lost 2-1. But that being said, it was also the last game I ever played because I went for a PK. I saved the ball. I knocked it down. I landed on top of it and my arm dislocated for the last time. And they're like, all right, your soccer career is basically over. Total bummer. So over the next 5 years, I had 4 surgeries. And nothing really took, right? This is before hypermobility was a known word. Nothing was really taking. PT didn't really work for me. And I would tell my doctors what I felt and didn't feel like anyone ever listened to me. And so then now I am 21 years old and I've just got a dislocated knee from a car accident. I'm talking to my hairdresser and she's like, don't you know Pilates? And I'm like, no, what's that? She's like, you're a dancer. That's what dancers do. And I was like, oh, do they? Because I didn't know that. So she's this place opened upstairs. You should go try it out. And I was like, okay, I will. And so in 4 sessions, I had more relief than I'd had in the last 10 years of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was absolutely obsessed. It actually wasn't until my Pilates instructor that I found out that hypermobility was a thing. And that's why I just wasn't getting the strength and stability that I needed to actually help my muscles support everything else, right? And I was working in corporate America at the time. I was just doing Pilates for fun. But after 6 years, I finally decided to become a Pilates instructor. And I was absolutely obsessed with how it could be rehabilitative, but also strength conditioning, mind, body, soul connection. And after 6 years, I became an instructor. 4 years later, I became a master instructor in Pilates sports therapy and rehab. And that was before that was a thing. So I thought I was really cool.
You were cool.
And so, yeah, I had opened my studio. I was in Scottsdale. I was getting insane results. I'm working with paraplegics, paralysis patients, all these different types of conditions, athletes. But there was always something that was missing because I'd have clients still come in and they were feeling better. They could finally tie their shoes. They could finally bend down to pull up their pants. It's the little things that really are the big wins for me. Making you look great, that's awesome. Making you be able to function as a normal human being doing day-to-day things, that is key.
Yeah.
in everybody's life. If you don't, once you no longer have that capability, you understand a difference in quality of life, right?
Right.
There was always still something missing. And I one day wake up and I couldn't move my neck, I couldn't move my shoulder, and I literally had to like pick my head up out of bed because I could not lift my own head. And I remember I called my chiropractor at the time and I was like, can you help me? I can't drive, I can't move, I can't turn my neck, I can't lift my arm, like I don't know what to do. And he's like, yeah, I got this new machine. It's woo, but it works. It's called PEMF. Would you like to try it out? And I was like, yeah, I'll get in an Uber right now. So I do. And this was the first device I ever worked with. And I touch the device, then he touches me, and all this crazy stuff's happening. And I'm just like giggling. And within 30 minutes, I had full range of motion and I had like no pain. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is that missing link, right? So 6 months go by and I'm sending all of my clients to him and all of them are getting the same results. Like those little things that I couldn't fix, this was that missing link. It brought it all together.
Love it.
Then all of a sudden he's like retiring from practice and I'm like, hey, what are you doing with my clients? And he's, oh, I sent them to the first guy that bought a machine. And I was like, no, that's my people. I was helping out my friend. I wasn't helping out a stranger. No offense. Can you make me a magician too? Like I want to help people. So that's how this started. And then that's how I came up with PEMF Pilates, because I would work on people, get the pain to go away. I would go strengthen and stabilize them on the reformer or chair, wherever. And then I would work on them for 15 more minutes before they left. And what I then realized was like, oh, wait, this isn't just about pain. This is about nervous system regulation. This is about literally taking out whatever stored trauma or emotion that we're keeping in our bodies that's restricting us from actually making those next steps to actually healing and performing better. And it was so phenomenal, but I couldn't do it at the same time. So 8 years goes by and I literally at this point closed my studio. I became strictly a PMF practitioner. I had moved from Arizona to LA to Florida to LA. Like I was just a mobile person. And then one of my friends who had this other device was like, hey, I actually just made something new. Do you want to try it out? And I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. Why not? And he's, yeah, like you won't have to put it through your body all the time. And I'm like, why wouldn't I do that? People think it's so special because it comes from your hands and like physical touch is so important. And at first, I'm not going to lie, I hated it. I was like, no, I need to use my hands. This is what I have to do. But then I realized, wait, I have all these like other things happening, like severe dehydration, and I'm tired all the time. Like maybe there's something to this. Oh, wait, I can actually put my clients on the reformer while they're hooked up to this machine and no one gets shocked. And like, I'm killing two birds with one stone. Like I can do all of these things at one time. So needless to say, that is what I use now. It's what I now help promote and sell and educate on because it has literally changed my life. It has changed our practice. It has changed the results that we get with our patients. And what became something that my friend Joshua Park just wanted to keep in his clinic in New York and not tell anybody about is hopefully now going to be this worldwide thing that's going to help change the way that the healthcare system treats their patients.
I love this. I love this. So I want a couple of key things. First of all, we need to know a little bit more about Dr. Joshua Park.
Yes.
And then secondly, you touched on this, but I want to know just a little bit more because I personally experienced it myself, you guys. And let me tell you, it was incredible. But when you're talking about using your hands, so would you consider this more physical therapy that you were doing? Or can you describe that a little bit more? And how the machine helps.
Manual therapy, bodywork, literally.
Manual therapy, okay.
You act as a conduit. So basically, you have a grounding plate or grounding, whether it be a cup, a pad, whatever you decide to use, and then the power comes through the practitioner. So you have like your positive and your negative, essentially, and we have an electrical circuit. And so what's really cool about this device is that, number one, when people hear PEMF, they're familiar with direct current. And direct is more like a high Gauss system, or you have the other ones that are just very much, you either have low Gauss or high Gauss. It's usually a mat that you lay on, which we do have that too. But it's the way that Josh created the first device, the Pro, which is the one that I worked on you with, AC current. So it creates an oscillating current. So it's technically a lower frequency, but it's more targeted therapy. But what it's doing is heating up the cellular tissue. So it has a faster recovery. So it allows your cells to actually heal and recover faster, so then we can move on to the next area. The way he developed it was specifically to target the nervous system to regulate it. So you can literally put your mind and your body back on track, work through any type of irregularity within your system. So that way your body can feel safe to heal faster. Now, the cool thing about that is that, like you experienced, I can still be the conduit and use it through my hands. So whether it's a massage therapist, physical therapist, occupational therapist, they can still use their hands. But we also have an infrared wand too, which is made of graphite. So it travels with infrared technology with the PEMF in addition to that. So it acts like a magnet on the actual fascia to the cells. So it tells you, it's basically like it's like a diagnostic tool and a treatment tool all in one, because it'll go to where you have depolarized cells that might be overactive, right? And so it'll pull them like a magnet, and it tells me to stay there and to help calm it down. Or you'll go to another area, let's say in the abdomen, it goes completely quiet, which is a dormant area. So then you can either still work on the area or create like activation, or you can even change the frequency from like an alpha to a beta and wake up the cells and exercise them so you can balance out your system faster.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, wow. I'm hoping that, and I might ask this question a little bit later too, but I'm hoping that there is some sort of education that you are giving people once they purchase this machine, because it just seems like this is something that really does need to be explained to folks in a much deeper way, because there's so many possibilities with it.
There is. And we actually just launched our level 1 training in person and online in this last year. We just had our second in-person level 1 course. So it's exciting because it's like babies growing up.
Right.
So what we've done is, yes, you can just be a practitioner that wants to do your own thing. We give you education tools. We give you basic protocol videos and like protocols to follow in general. But where our passion is the education. Joshua Park, he's a DPT.
Okay.
He is a incredible human being. He owns Motion in New York City. And he started from a 800 square foot room to now a 10,000 square foot clinic in the heart of Manhattan. And this was all within 4.5 years.
Wow.
And it's because he created this tool to help grow his practice, but because he created the education around it, he now is able to train all these other practitioners underneath him. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm not going to get the same kind of care. You can get the same kind of care no matter what, because we teach you how to use the device exactly. Like we teach you exactly how to use it across the board. And if you as a practitioner want to add your special sauce, awesome. But what we want to do is give you that intellectual wow, that visual wow, and the physical wow all in one within 45 minutes.
Wow. Wow. That was a little silly, but also really cute. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yes. I love this. And again, I have experienced it just on my shoulders. I can imagine that there were other places that I probably could have focused on at that moment, but you just came in right at the right time and helped my shoulders from being up in my ears and calming down, which was huge. I can tell from this conversation that this is a really big deal for you, because you are seeing such amazing results with your clients. So are there a couple, besides me, are there a couple of just extreme case studies or something that you just love to share when it comes to how this particular piece of technology has helped you with your clients that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, you know, my husband, Sean Drake, he works with athletes. I mean, yeah, he can talk to you about all the athletes and performance and stuff. But again, for me, it's like normal. I want normal people to experience feeling. Not that athletes aren't normal people, but one of the cases, I'll actually see her right after you, and she's near and dear to me. It's Miss Anita, and she had a stroke about 4 years ago.
Okay.
After she had to unfortunately get an injection, and she had a stroke 6 days later. She woke up 3 weeks later out of a coma, and she was paralyzed on her entire left side. And this is a woman who literally studied herbs, health and wellness, nutrition, and all of a sudden her life changes, right? So she has dealt with this. She's been going to PT, occupational therapy for years. She was in an assisted living facility for quite some time to help her do day to day. And we were fortunate enough to meet her son at an event. He's an athlete, and he loves PEMF. And he was like, this is my favorite hack. And he said, tell you what, I can't do it right now because he plays in another state, but he lives here, and he's like, if y'all can take care of my mama, then I'm in. And so Miss Anita comes in. She's been with us now since July 7th. In the first 3 sessions with her, she started to feel sensations in her hands and her feet. She was able to actually, I had her lifting her arm and bending her knee and straightening her knee.
Oh
And
my goodness.
it's incredible what she can do, because she is a powerhouse, and you have to have that kind of determination
Mhm.
and willpower and strength to do this. But since then, I mean, it's those things that you don't really think about, like when they do have a stroke or a seizure, and like brain function, and how left side versus right side, and what turns off neurologically. So we've been able to turn on brain function more. We've been able to, she was having, because of the paralysis on the left side, she had really dry eyes. She couldn't produce
Mm.
tears. We've been able to correct her tear ducts, so she doesn't have those issues anymore. I never thought in the past about how like paralysis will also affect the organs. So
Sure.
now she actually has normal organ function, normal bowel movements. She doesn't get winded as much. She can walk for longer periods of time.
Wow.
You can like literally tickle her feet and she'll jump because she can feel it.
Wow.
It's just every day is a gift that we have been given, just knowing her. But every day for her is also a gift because she feels something different every day. And yeah, she has good days and bad days depending
Sure.
on the system. But we are true. She just walked in the door with her cane right before I sat in this chair, and now she's doing Pilates. Oh my God, she's doing Pilates with PMF with me. Like, and it's wild because her arm is stuck here. And by her third session, we had her holding on the bars and pushing up. We had her pressing evenly through both legs while laying down doing leg work. Like, it's incredible what this has been able to
Wow.
allow us to do by turning her system back on, because all it is, like, your nerves are essentially disconnected, and then your body's disconnected from your brain function. And what we're doing is not only regulating your nervous system to get out of the trauma response of what her body has had to endure, but now we're telling it is safe enough to function. Like, it's okay, come back out to play. And
Wow.
that's exactly what it's doing.
Oh my gosh, that's chill bumps right there. That's giving me the goosies. That is just one of those, to give the gift of normal function back to someone is just out of this world amazing. That is fantastic. Anybody else? Anybody else that you have that it just comes to mind?
Yeah, there's a little girl we started seeing. She's 14 years old. Her name is Ryan. She came into us two and a half, I guess, just 2 weeks ago, actually, and had just met her parents, and she had just gotten out of being in Children's Hospital for 2 months. Unexplained. They don't know what's going on with her. I couldn't explain. She had a lot of abdominal pain, and she was so weak. Her coloration, she was discolored. She was white, really dark around the eyes. She couldn't hold her body up, and she couldn't physically put pressure on her left leg. And so to walk, she would have to hold on to both parents. And so when she came in the first day, like, she couldn't even sit up to say hi to us. It was so sad.
Wow.
It's just so sad because she's a ballerina. She's a dancer. She performs for the Arizona Ballet. Like, she's a phenomenal kid.
Oh boy.
And first and foremost, it came to regulating her nervous system, because when you've now been in a hospital for 2 months, and leading up to that point, you're getting negative words and words of discouragement instead of encouragement. And people are just in front of you looking at you like, again, you're a science experiment. Like, your body starts to shut down.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was doing. And I loved it because Sean was like, I think you're going to be better with her. And so, like, I started like working on her tummy, and I was explaining like why this rib cage is jumping. She goes, that's the one that hurts. And I go, that's the one that's working harder, sweetie. And so I broke it down from like the structure of how a dancer performs and how we hold
Yes.
our bodies, and then how our body holds visceral response patterns. And within her rib cage specifically, she was holding so much because she's been unable to breathe and express herself because people aren't letting her speak. They're not listening to her. So her diaphragm was completely locked up. The rib cage closes up, and it was closing more on the left side. And so we've been able to open that up and create more flow in the system. Her diaphragm, like, her voice is projecting, her color's back. Like, she actually walked out with just one person the first day. By the second day, it was wild. She actually, like, same. It was just like a little bit better each day, which we always say 1% better each day is great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday, like, I'm going to actually cry, I think. Yesterday she came in and she walked in by herself. She just walked right in, got down on the table.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Weeks. She had makeup on. She was all cute. And her quinceanera is coming up in 2 weeks. And our goal is to have her in her dance classes in 2 weeks so she can do her dance for her quinceanera. And she is so excited because there's actually hope.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Y'all, this is a big one. This is big. And we definitely need more practitioners to understand the power of this technology and to get on board with this, because it sounds like this is something that can really affect a lot of people across this country in a way that has no pharmaceuticals attached to it. Mhm. And allows people to get their lives back. This is incredible. Okay, so then I think that I could guess what you could say here, but with this question, I am very interested to see what you say. But when it comes to the future of healthcare in this country, let's dream a little bit. And what are your hopes and aspirations when it comes to things like getting to root cause or prevention, or even in your case, some recovery possibilities? So, what are your dreams for the future of healthcare in this country?
I wish Josh was here for this one, which you'll see him in just a few months, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is changing. It's not, he calls it, like, it's not healthcare, it's sick care. And that's what
Mm,
we're focusing on, is keeping people sick by giving us medications and all the other things. That's not my wheelhouse. Like, for us, our vision for this company in the future is literally creating a global network of practitioners that have all the tools at their fingertips to be able to heal people by literally just turning their bodies back on naturally. We're human beings, and we need electricity essentially to function, right? We're
right.
not all in the dirt or in the sand. We're not grounding ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And even if we are and you're super stressed out, you still can't balance certain things out, right?
Right.
So what we are doing is, by creating the education, like I said, first and foremost, we want to let people understand not only how frequency works and bioelectricity works in the body and the brain and how it functions properly and how you need one and the other, and
Hmm.
how tools, along with so many other tools, can be so wonderful for you. But we then want to help our practitioners actually succeed, because let's face it, like, how many people go and buy something because they heard it worked, but then they get home and it doesn't work for them the same way it worked in the clinic? So that's what the key thing here is. We now have 3 different devices, right? We have the Pro,
Okay.
you got to experience.
Uh huh.
We have our Wave, which is like the larger unit, and it's a full body passive unit. We actually are now launching a smaller portable unit that is the exact same strength as the big one, but it's just like a fraction of the size. But we are now helping companies and practitioners decide what tool is best for you and your patients, how to properly use it, educate you on not just the system itself, but like the science behind everything and why it works. But what we're actually launching is essentially bringing your business to you. So you can pick and choose, but we give you the education, the hands on experience, the business mentoring, the coaching throughout. We give you all of your, because let's face it, also another thing that as practitioners, we get things, but then we don't have time or we don't know how to do social media posts to actually
Sure.
promote stuff. So we're going to give all of our practitioners moving forward those tools. We're going to literally give you your ads that you can run. We're going to give you your art, so your graphics and everything, because we want people to truly succeed. We want to be like that business coach, not only for your professional business, but also for just your practice in general and how you heal. But also, you have these tools now to heal yourself as a practitioner, and that is key, because we also
Mm,
so much on a day-to-day basis that so many times we're too tired to work on ourselves or go do those things. All of these tools you can use on yourself, including the wand, the attachments. You don't have to do anything. If you're too tired to move the wand, you just put pads and and cups on you, and you just can sit and heal.
mm,
We just wanted to make something that was literally all encompassing, to where the better you are, the more healed you are, the more you can do for your patients. And we're trying to do it at a more affordable price, because we also know how expensive things can be. And especially if you're starting out, it's not always easy to get the right tools. And then a lot of times, again, when you get the right tool, it doesn't mean you get the education behind it. So
right.
you're literally creating our EQ universe, which gives you everything just wrapped up in a pretty little box.
I'm telling you what, I think that is really important, especially for practitioners. Now, is this a practitioner only line?
It's not.
It's not. Okay, so consumers can,
Consumers.
okay, great. So, maybe this is something down the road that if you have a corporation that has a health room and you can figure out how to get somebody to go lay on a PMF mat for 15 minutes or whatever, you can figure out how to regulate folks in a different way. Oh, that's exciting.
X, sorry to interrupt you, but our X, the new one that's coming out, is actually pre-programmed. And it has damp oscillation in it too. So it's not just the direct current with that normal PMF like that you feel. You can also do damp oscillation, which is very much like the Pro. It creates an oscillating current within the system. So it creates more of a healing pattern by warming up the tissue and warming up the cells so they can actually come to a healed and rested state. But we decided to make it more functional for the average person to be able to purchase. So where you can just be like, okay, I need recovery, I need sleep, I need energizing, I need performance. And so it's already there for you.
Fantastic, because it needs to be simple. This is an incredible piece of technology that has so much science behind it, and you're saying things that maybe I don't even understand. But I can click a button that says recovery and know what that's going to mean for me. So it sounds like this is not just a product line. I love also that you guys are, to skip around a little bit, I love that you're innovating. You're innovating in a way that, because you're looking at the as you bring something to the table, you're naturally going to learn more about what this product can do and what this device can do for people. And then the shift and the bob and weave, if you will, of what this business is so that it can be the best that it can be for anybody that touches it is incredible. And I commend you and Josh for that, because it's incredible. It's incredible. I absolutely love everything about this. You guys really need, if you're listening to this podcast before the conference, please feel free to come and experience it yourself. We'll make sure that every single link and the access to Kiki and Dr. Joshua Park is listed in our show notes so that you have easy access to them, because this is something that I think is really, don't like to use the word game changing a lot because I think it gets overused, but I really think that what you have created is something that really can be that change in people that is so impactful. And not a lot of people understand what the power is. So the education piece is really important. I think it's commendable that you are thinking about all of those things. Well done. Well done. I'm excited to see you in a couple of months. And you guys go out and check out the EQ Flux Wave and just ride the wave. Oh my gosh, I just did that. Ride the wave of this, because they are going to keep improving and keep making this better for you and your clients. So get in touch, really get in touch. And Kiki, thank you for your time today. And I just know that you're going to make a difference in Miss Anita's life today. So go out there and give her a hug for me. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. We just can't wait to see you guys.
Have a good one.
Too.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Change Life Destiny podcast. If you loved what you heard, share it with a friend and follow us for more bold conversations and breakthrough ideas. Ready to take the next step? Visit changelifedestiny.com to join the movement. See you next time, and keep diving in, learning, and leading the change.